The threat from terrorism is one of the starkest that we face.
Last week, the Home Secretary Sajid Javid unveiled the new UK Counterterrorism Strategy, which is also known as Contest. And a big part of Contest is the Prevent strategy. Now, that's a strategy that works to prevent individuals from becoming terrorists or supporting terrorism. And it's important for various reasons. We have a new Home Secretary who will be keen to leave his imprints into the strategy. Secondly, we have had a 7-year hiatus, which means that the strategy was in need of revising. Third, we've had a different security landscape. The threats are different, and so the strategy has to respond to that. Fourth, Prevent remains very controversial. It provokes opinions across British society, and so people will be watching and observing closely to see what is new and what isn't. Other governments are very interested in Prevent as well, and they still view Prevent as a flagship type of preventive counterterrorism. And lastly, the strategy has always touched on questions related to identity, immigration, and community cohesion. Now, my verdict after reviewing the strategy is that this is continuity rather than change. What we have here is a strategy that introduces one thing that is particularly new, which is the introduction of disengagement and reintegration programs. This is significant because this is the first time we have a pursuit objective being brought into the Prevent space. One type of work deals with criminals and terrorists once they've crossed the line, whereas Prevent deals with preventing in the pre-crime space. It's too early to know what the impact of this new introduction will be. But that being said, I think there are 5 questions. There are 5 questions that will continue to provoke debate and academic interest. Number 1, ideology and radicalization. We know from scholarship that the concept of radicalization is contested and that there are many causes to terrorism than just ideology. Why privilege ideology and use radicalization as part of your objective? Number 2 is that is there an evidence base that all the various activities are working effectively in preventing terrorism? Prevent, as you know, encompasses various types of activities: counter-narratives, community resilience, to the Channel program, which works with vulnerable individuals in the pre-crime space, and disengagement programs working with individuals who've crossed the line into terrorism. The question is, are these activities helping in preventing and reducing the risk of terrorism? Number 3, the question about safeguarding. Do we know whether the safeguarding against radicalization is actually the same as safeguarding against other forms of vulnerability? And are teachers and health professionals, for example, equipped enough with the right level of knowledge and confidence to be able to identify those at risk of radicalization sufficiently and with due sensitivity? Number 4 is the introduction of multi-agency centres. The idea here is to be able to monitor subjects of interest at local areas, but this poses a potential problem for civil and human rights. Can these pilots develop without infringing on the civil and human rights of individuals, many of whom will not actually know that they're being monitored by the security services and in local communities? Number 5 is the question of counter-extremism. Counter-extremism, and extremism specifically, is a contested idea. It poses conceptual, operational and political challenges, and critics say that it actually infringes on freedom of speech. Why then have it as a strategic objective within the Prevent strategy and within Contest more widely? Those are the 5 questions that I think will continue to provoke debate.